Welcome back to another Overwatch Coach VOD review. Today we are going to be reviewing a Gold 2 Lucio. Let's get into their introduction here. I think this was one of my better games as Lucio because I really tried to stay on the walls and take off angles to pick off weak squishies. I know that I need to work on wall riding in fights and contesting payload too. Another thing I know is that I need to play more passive sometimes and heal my team, because most often I end up playing Reddit Lucio all my games and get flamed for not healing. If anybody could give me a VOD review, I'd appreciate it. So, alright, this is our Lucio. Looking at this team comp, this team comp doesn't really call for Lucio. So normally what you want to do is you want to play Lucio when your team is a little bit more on the slower side, might need that little mobility boost. What I'm seeing here is Kiriko's going to have to main heal the tank, and then your snipers are going to be all over the place. Meanwhile, you're just producing a little round circle of healing. And I think you're going to struggle here based off of this team comp. So typically, I typically play Lucio one on the King of the Hill maps. So like Nepal, Lijiang, that kind of thing, Ilios. That Antarctica map is, I haven't, it's actually weird. Now that I bring that up, I got a third account into Masters this weekend, and I have not played the Antarctica map one time this weekend, now that I think about it. And I've probably got about 20-something games in. So, but Antarctica would be good. Sorry for the little tangent, but but so typically where the team is converging and playing close together, that's where Lucio will shine. Third point of this map, I find to be a pretty solid Lucio spot for this map, but I don't like him in the first spot, and I'm not a big fan of him in the second one, but you can kind of make it work on the second one. But this first point that we're about to watch right here, it's too wide open. So unless your team's like really clumping together on the cart kind of a situation, I don't really like him here. In terms of what I would like, in place of what you're playing, Anna, Mercy, I think would be better heroes here for what you're doing, or for what your team is looking for or needing out of its support class. Because now, granted, you don't know this yet. You don't know what the enemy team's running, but looking at what the enemy team is running, there's really only one thing here that calls for a Lucio beat drop, and that's Ramatra ult. Lucio's beat drop, 9 times out of 10, should be used as a defensive ult to counteract an incoming offensive ult. That one time you don't use it like that would be like to help your team push in, to try to win a team fight that's like must win or something like that. But most of the time, the majority of the time, you're usually playing Lucio to counteract, like, let's say, Nano Blade, maybe Grab Dragon or Soldier, Nano Visor, that stuff like that. That's usually what you'd be looking for. But we're not seeing much coming from them in terms of that. So Lucio does not feel like a good fit to me here. But let's watch the VOD and let's see what we get. Okay, so on this map in particular, I don't usually speed boost out of spawn, or amp the speed boost is what I mean by that. I usually just let it come out just with the passive speed boost that he's putting out. You're so close to basically where they're already starting now, and on top of that, these guys are playing like really far forward normally. You see people playing kind of like here, somewhere in that vicinity. So they're a little far forward. So what I would suggest is you passively speed them to the front line, and then you amp the speed in, or if they're taking a bunch of damage getting to this spot, then you can swap to healing song and then amp that up, and then you cover that initial burst of damage coming their way.
I can use some help.
Good shot. So yeah, boop him out of the lamp. Yep, throw out a punch or two. Good.
Look at us, we're the way.
So only thing there is I'd maybe like to see you swapping between heal and speed.
I feel this in my bones.
Alright, we'll speed this up. Your aim needs work. You're missing a lot of shots. I'm starting to... Wait, are you on a controller? I feel like you're playing off of a controller. It wasn't specified in the Reddit post if they were console or computer, but based off of your aim, this is looking like a controller. So don't frontline, you're frontlining right now. Let's just take a quick glance here. There's your tank, there's you, and there's the rest of your team. Don't frontline as a support, pretty much ever. You should be standing somewhere like right there. Relatively speaking, like you can maybe be on the high ground here or here kind of thing, but ultimately your positioning is about to get you killed. And I'm guessing you're about to die right now. Yep. Called it.
Amp up this beat. Oh yeah. Move it. This beat will heal you up. Crank up the game.
I owe you one.
Too much speed song here.
Oh, let's break it.
So what I saw there was at least a couple opportunities to swap to heal song. Typically speaking, I go back and forth while the fight's going. I'll put it to speed, then I swap it to heal, put it to speed, swap it to heal, and I'm going back and forth constantly. You're just leaving it. Highly recommend swapping between songs very frequently. Very frequently.
Catch these healing waves. Off to attack. Accelerated assist.
So again here, I'd be doing a little bit more heal than speed at this point because there's not a lot of movement needed. Your two front lines are pretty much right there, so speed isn't so needed at this point. And then on top of that, you are frontlining again. Now, what I would recommend doing in a situation like this, if you did kind of want to play a little on the aggressive side, you could wall ride up here come up, and then boop the tank forward to kind of make them overextend a little bit. And then this isn't necessarily much. You're technically kind of frontlining, but you're in a position where you're more safe. And then you can either come around here and, you know, come back to your team or stay on the wall or whatever. Or if you don't boop the tank forward, you might get up here, you'll see a Sojourn, and you might be able to boop her off of the high ground, or at least, you know, make her shoot at you for a couple seconds when she's not shooting at the enemy team, although she's shooting at a Genji right now, so I guess it's not all that valuable for her to be doing that anyway. But long story short, that's what I would be doing here. You're more grounded and you're frontlining. At least you've got that extra health from your Junker Queen right here, though, but still this positioning not that great. You get back and correct it fairly quick. Okay. Yeah, bad ult by the Sojourn. Good job kind of chasing her down, helping with that. So, okay. Remember I said Lucio's beat drop should be used to counteract Ramatra's ult at the beginning. And you don't have it. And I'm trying to think, why don't you have it? You should have a beat drop by now. And when did you use it? How did I never notice you beat drop? Why did I not know? I must have spaced out for a second there, because I did not notice you beat drop that. Yeah, so I don't know how I missed that. I guess I spaced for a second or two. I was watching an episode of the show You before this, and maybe my mind drifted to that for a second. But yeah, that ultimate there, not a huge fan of that one. It should have been used. Where's the Ramatra ult? Right here. This is where you would have wanted to use it. Yeah, your team is dying, and a lot of it is to that Ramatra ult. Interesting they're chasing you down here, because they're not going to get you. Yeah, so because of that weird kind of, not knocking that positioning of you going down there and coming up around, but because of that kind of out of the norm positioning, and then you coming up and kind of nudging the cart forward a little bit, I'm okay with that, but you stayed there a little too long. You should get out. Get all the way out. All the way out. Okay, your team's mostly back, so now stay. Yeah, you needed to just stay on Heal Song there. Get out. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Get back to your spawn. Get back to your team.
How's that for sound therapy?
All of this should not be happening right now. All of you guys should go back to spawn until your DPS respawn and then go in as 5.
Louder this time.
Let's take him to the wasteland.
So, yeah, again, there's just no reason for this. I like that Lucio beat drop way more than I like yours. Not a big fan of that Lucio beat drop either, though, but I like that one more. Heal, heal, heal. Yeah, you gotta be healing more there. Healing more and playing a little bit further back. You were a little too far forward again.
Seconds remaining.
Let's get into a healing rhythm. Gotta go quick. Round of healing. Get on the attack or it's game over.
Good wall ride to get to your Hanzo. Careful not to C9 this. Good kill. Good punch.
The Queen!
Blocked by the dragon.
Fala tu.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
I'm under attack.
Don't shoot at the tank here. He's not gonna die. Too much healing. Shoot around these two targets. And don't dive in while doing it. Stay with the cart. This is where beat drop would have been great. If you had beat drop right here, you beat drop that and that ultimate gets cancelled.
Making use of that speed, I see. Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Nope. Nope. This is a fight that shouldn't even really be happening until you guys all group back up after you've all respawned again. This is sloppy play. Not necessarily your fault. I'm talking more in terms of like your whole team. Like your team doesn't back off and regroup. You guys just seem to just keep fighting and whatever happens happens. But I would be looking for you guys to be regrouping after like 2 of you die or something like that, and we haven't seen a lot of that. Yep, stay away from the bastion. You're too far forward here. So May ult, that can be another good one to beat drop. That one's a little situational. I don't say that blanketly. Like every time May ults you beat drop, you kind of want to wait and see like what actually develops from the May ult before you beat drop it. But if it's looking like it's going to be a fat May ult, or if you're just going to flat out be in it, beat dropping that, not the worst thing in the world. Careful not to frontline a bastion. Okay, good. Usually it's more when he goes into the tank mode or if he has tank mode, so you got that's a cooldown you just gotta kinda manage a little bit.
Pick it up, pick it up.
So yeah, right now you're Doomfist diving in way too deep. Not much you can do about that. I would not amplify that mistake given the scenario of it's overtime and you're pushing a cart. I would hang kind of off to the back end of the cart and be shooting and using that as cover.
I see an enemy.
And I would be on heal as well right now. Heal.
I'm feeling good.
So you just amped healing. Hold on. When did... Where was that? I went too far back now. Like right here. Yeah, you amped healing. I'm guessing you're doing it for your tank because other than that, there's nothing else really to amp your heal for. Where is your... Baptiste is there, so... It's okay. It's an okay amp, not the worst. I don't know if it was needed, but it's okay. You're overextending right here. Stay on heal, stay on heal, stay on heal. Get behind the... Okay, this is way overextending. You should be playing back kind of where that lamp is. Play with your team here.
Amp up your feet.
Good punch. I like that you're using your melee. Melee for Lucio and Zen is always kind of a key thing for those two.
Score.
For different reasons, ironically, but...
Switching sides. Attackers incoming.
Okay, so, team comp-wise, so we're running Reaper, Sigma, Anna, Hanzo, and then you on Lucio. So, this team comp is better, for Lucio. These two are going to play a little bit more together now, so it'll be kind of on you to be with them. Anna's primary job is going to be to heal Sigma, and then it's going to be split between you two on wherever the Hanzo is. Hanzo might be off kind of taking, you know, different angled shots. He might be playing with you guys. It's going to be hard to say. But I feel like the Hanzo and how he gets supported between you two is going to be the make or break for how this team comp works out. The only other thing I'll add here is that Anna is going to have to land good anti-nades because they're not running Kiriko. So that's a plus for you guys. But I'm not totally sure who she plans on nanoing. Sigma and Reaper would be my guess. Reaper isn't the greatest of nano targets, but sometimes if he's in a great position to ult, he's a good nano target. Sigma, if he's good with his aim, then he can be alright. But yeah, the nano is the one thing I'm a little worried about. So you're playing too far up here, and so is that Reaper. Unless he plans on like kind of letting them all pass and then hit him in the back. But you should be up here. Usually what I do is I'll play behind here or I'll play behind here. Kind of depends where my team's sitting at. So probably more over here just based off of what they're playing at. And then I just kind of do little pokes, like I'd shoot over that rusty van, or come over this way, same thing. And then as the fire starts coming toward this direction, I'll wall ride around, and then I start playing over here and shooting from kind of like this bridge area, or I might even come down to the ground and shoot from down here. If you play kind of toward the center of this area, you can be harder to hit because a lot of times when the enemy is pushing and they're shooting, they're going to oftentimes be shooting more at angled shots at the corners. And then if you're standing dead center, it kind of requires them to aim a little bit more. But in terms of what you're doing, you're off on your own and you're overextending. You're not really doing anything right there, so.
That's not right. Heel to this beat.
So Sigma just instantly drops. I'm not sure why, if it was because you were there and then he's just playing around you. I liked his original spot more than I like this, but unless the difference here would be maybe if Hanzo gets an early pick, or if this Reaper comes in and flanks and gets an early pick or something. If that's the case, then you could push up a little bit. But right now, you guys are basically fighting right point blank at the enemy spawn, and that gives the enemy the advantage. Because even if you do get a pick, they're going to just respawn and be instantly back in the fight. Whereas if they pick one of you guys off, you guys have a long way back. Even if it's you on Lucio, you still have a much longer walk back than they're going to have. So Yep, overextended and died. Shouldn't be playing there unless there's been a pick, and there wasn't. So you, again, should be playing either up here, up where the Ana is, or down in this vicinity, not all the way up there. Let's see how your rollout is to get back.
Let's get loud. I feel this in my
Yeah, that was pretty good. You could have kept that going a little bit, but at the same time, that probably just puts you in an overextend. So that rollout was good. However, you got 3 people dead. So you being here is an overextension. And what is Lucio good for? Anybody? Taxiing? Are you going to come back and get these guys into the fight quicker? Let's find out. You're feeding right now.
I stand with you.
break up the game.
Okay, I like that you sped the Reaper out. Now go get everybody else.
Quick in the cave.
Yeah, so you didn't tax. So your awareness of the situation of these 3 here being dead and getting them out of spawn to engage quicker, completely missed opportunity.
That's us out there.
Too much shooting at the tank here. You're hyper focused on shooting at a tank. Tank's not gonna die until the rest of his team starts getting dealt with first. The Zen would have been a great target for you to be kind of diving on a bit, or the Baptiste. The Mei looked like she was pretty deeply engaged. You might have been able to do some work on her, but instead you're just shooting at a armored Rhine who's also being healed quite a bit. So this whole transaction we've seen in the last couple minutes has been pretty poor.
Let's get into a healing rhythm. That's not right.
Speed your team out of that. Unfortunate you don't have beat drop for that. If you were healing a little bit more, and then maybe shooting at something that wasn't the Reinhardt, you might have had beat drop for this interaction here.
Match this VPN.
At this point, get out because your tank is dead. Just get out. Disengage this. You have to disengage this. Disengage.
Enemy spotted. Enemy here.
I don't know why this Rhine is just holding up his shield and allowing you to live on this cart. I feel like, I mean, he could hold up shield and move toward you and then start swinging on you, but he's kind of just backing off or almost standing still and holding shield, which is weird to me. Yep, and then fire strike and dead. And you stagger. You held the cart a little bit, but it's not worth it. You should have disengaged, sped your team out of spawn, re-engage as 5, and come back and fight another day.
Put them in the crowd.
Oh, you want to hear this?
Shoot the lamp.
That's not right.
Watch your distance from Reinhardt's. Don't get close to him unless you have to. You need to disengage again.
Healing food.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
That Mei could have left that ice wall there and kept you trapped for a little bit. I don't think she realized that she had you in it. You're too deep right now. Disengage. Disengage. Play behind your tank. Play behind your tank.
How's that for sound therapy? Break up the cage.
I don't know if I would have amped that just because your Moira is there with you. I would have left it on Heal Song though. I would be on Heal Song pretty much this entire engagement unless there's a reason to make your team move forward or back off a bit. But right here, I would just be straight on Heal Song. There's Shatter to be looking out for and Window, and Mayalt's not far behind. If you're wall riding, which I'm expecting you not to be doing considering where you're at right now, but if you were playing like up in that mid-ground spot to the right of you, you could be waiting for Hammer Down and then beat dropping to cover that. Otherwise, the Mayalt is going to be the thing to really look out for. Yeah, I figured you were going to get killed in that. So you're not alt tracking at all. You had absolutely no idea that was coming. You could just tell. You had no clue. So you gotta kind of in the back of your mind be like, okay, Ryan hasn't ulted in a while. That's got to be coming. If I'm playing high ground, he can't hammer me down from up there. My tank is very unlikely to block that. Not impossible, but unlikely. I'm going to wait for an opportunity for that Reinhardt to do hammer down. And then from if you're hanging out up, like let's say on these little things that come out, because if you're like, let's say for example, you're playing on here and it's moving, and you're on it. And if you're on the edge, you're still healing the people below you or speeding them around depending on what you're doing. And you're shooting from a high ground. And then, all of a sudden hammer down. And then you beat drop from up here. All of a sudden you save everybody from dying from that. And then you could always drop down from there if you're more comfortable than rather than being up here. And then you could always come down. And then don't amp or anything if you beat drop. Like save that for after the fact. Unless everybody's already low by the time you hit beat drop. Because then you're going to heal all the normal health that's been wounded while the beat drop HP covers any incoming damage in the meantime. That would be the only instance to amp at that point. But yeah, so that was another missed opportunity there. So the one good thing is you still have your beat drop and May's got her ult. So now you can maybe counteract May ult. So let's see what you do here. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, the beat drop, I don't necessarily have a problem with. It's the positioning that I have a problem with. You're way too far forward for no reason at all. Hold on.
Thank you.
Let's watch this from a bird's eye view. Let's watch it from, in fact, let's watch it from your Ash's perspective. Like, right, let's just watch it from right here. Pretend I'm one of your DPS that's got a mid ground and I'm just watching what you do. Like, what is that positioning trying to accomplish? If you're playing back in this vicinity, you're getting so much more value and you're unlikely to have died from that May ult. And then you would have beat dropped it, you know, everybody would have been beefed up from it. Worst case scenario, you still die, but then a bunch of abilities get used to get you killed. And then those abilities aren't coming at the rest of your team. But instead, the May ult, you're frozen in it, and they're just point blank shooting at you because you're way too deep in. You're taking a weird long way around. Why don't you go straight up there?
This beat will heal you up.
Good punch. I would have been on healing song once you're in that kind of position, though.
Turn it up, turn it up. Hello. Let's do it faster.
Scanning.
That's not right.
So again, I would be probably up here, or I might even be wall riding kind of along this vicinity, kind of just going back and forth a little bit, kind of waiting for where my opportunity would really be. Like if I see my DPS taking damage, just pop up and start healing them, or if the damage is more focused down here, kind of just hanging around this wall, kind of just hugging this area, just going back and forth, popping around here, kind of coming back, just kind of hovering this area. That's what I would be doing if I were you. You see how you got forced out of the fight and you're not supplying anything to anybody? There's nobody here. There's no one. You're frontlining again.
I feel great.
Get to your team. Get to your team.
Surrender to my will.
Healing boom. That's not right. This is an uphill fight. Careful.
The dragon consumed you.
Yeah, at this point, just try to hug the cart, but do it safer than this. Play in front of the cart, like down here. Use the cart as cover. You're on top of it. Be on speed, or heal song, sorry, heal. Get your team out of spawn a little quicker, go to your team coming out of spawn. There was, I think, 2 people coming out.
This BPM. This beat will heal you up.
So, what I would recommend doing again is playing somewhere in the vicinity of, on the wall of right in here again. And then what I like to do, Lucio, I like to use Lucio as a scout with the ping system. I have not noticed you pinging anybody unless I'm just missing it and not seeing it. But if you're not pinging people as Lucio, I feel like you're missing a big part of his kit right there. But like if you're kind of over here and you're on speed and you're moving around and riding the walls and all of a sudden, okay, maybe the Mei swaps to something, you could ping that and all of a sudden your team's going to see, oh, they've got, I don't know, Reaper or something. And then if they, excuse me, if they start coming through here, you can ping that and suddenly your team's going to know they're coming here. But if they go around, you can ping that and then they're going to start seeing, oh, they're coming around. Or maybe they split and go half and half. And if you're wall riding here, maybe they start shooting at you and you move back up here. But now like 2 are going this way, 3 are going that way. And you already pinged something going that way. But now you could ping like 2 people going this way. Make sure your team doesn't allow like a C9 where they back cap you, that kind of a thing. Instead, you guys are playing like way far back. Like take some space, make them fight to get back to the cart. And then somebody like you on a mobility character, if somebody does sneak past you guys and try to get to the cart, you can go back and contest it. So you'd be watching for that. But you're just playing the cart. You're not really denying any space. You're letting them come out of spawn for free. And this is a whole team thing. It's not just you, but, you know, this positioning's pretty basic.
Activate the sound barrier.
This ends now.
Louder this time.
Should be wall riding some of this a little bit to get there quicker. So, all right, we beat dropped a window, and your tank is dead. So it'll at least allow your team to tank some damage right now. But they've got so many ults coming at you that it's probably irrelevant. The May ult was a little too... Yeah. Okay, no, it wasn't. I thought the May ult might have went too deep. Oh, okay.
Just hang tight. We can do this.
Lucky
I see an enemy.
that Ryan screwed up his hammer down. Don't get that close to him. Don't get that close to him. All right, your handle, you know what to do, but not how to do it. So
Let's get loud.
let's watch it from up here. Come up here, wall climb around here, boop him back, and shoot him in the back. So, if the Rhine's got a Moira coming at him from here, and you come around back, he can't shield both. And if you keep enough distance between both of you, like the Moira's too close too, but if you keep enough distance from behind him, and she's back maybe like over here, he'll have to choose who to shield, either the Moira or you. He'll shield one, and then the other one just keeps picking away at him. And then as he starts to progress back to his team, you boop him back deeper in. That's what you should be doing here. I just want to see how this actually ends. Because you actually helped push him back into... So at least he died. I mean, ultimately he died, but that could have been cleaner, is I guess the point I'm trying to make. You could have done that cleaner. And frankly, that Rhine didn't play that very well either. He should have just started swinging away and then dying. He staggered himself there, which did you and your team a favor. Frankly, that Rhine should have just started swinging away until he was dead, because there really wasn't much else for him to do. But what he did is he held up his shield and staggered his own death.
Bring it out your best self.
Should be on heal song for all of this, by the way. Good kill. You don't want this fight in any way, shape, or form to go south. So that the whole last fight should have been on heal song. So number one, heal speed. Swap between those songs way more than you're currently doing. 2 is your positioning. We covered that as we saw it. 3, beat drop, timing, and we covered that as we saw it. So I would say those would be your 3 biggest things to work on. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.